Okay, we are back. 2 crashes later, and I realized what it is. Um, Underneath this, for some reason, there's a conflict with these stockpiles, which I've never seen before. And that's what I was doing, was creating a stockpile for the quarry. So, we're not going to use those. I'm not sure why they are, but I went ahead and used D20. I think that's what he calls himself. Or maybe it was in here. Nope. It's this the same developer. He's just got 2 different tabs here. DS mods. I used some of his stockpiles, and it seems to be working fine. So anyway, we're back. Took me a minute to figure out why I started the process again, and of course I tried to make a query again, and then it was like crash, and I was like, oh, I think that's the problem. I think that was the only thing that I needed to redo. Hopefully they'll get this up soon, and then we can start making buildings. I'm gonna build this out even though they're not gonna make it. So it's their house. We're gonna give them a little backyard. Pause that. Really wish I could remember which one of these roads I like the best. I try to use a different road for... I'm not sure if I'm doing this or not, but I usually give them like a... Nah, it looks like the same road. Oh well. A little road into their house kind of thing, depending on how it's set up. And they'll probably get a fence coming off here, the back of the house, around, you know. Oh, we need to delete these again, don't we? Yeah, don't use these, please. So we'll build the little dairyman off of the backyard here. And then we're going to build a butcher too, because we're getting cow meat. But we don't have people for that yet, so... But at least we know what's going there. And then I try to get honey up pretty quick, because it's a really nice addition to their diet. Let's see. I don't want to go too crazy with the roads yet. Okay, this is kind of a cheat. I should call them that yet, but I mean, but they kind of are. Let's see if I can find it. I have so many of his mods. I think it's this one. Okay, so this is a beekeeper, and one of the reasons why I use it is because I think it's so cute with the little houses. I use that word a lot. I didn't realize I used that word until I started videoing. It's cute. It's cute. But I think that I like how this looks because it uses the new honey bee kind of thing. And then you get apples too. So what I do is I build this guy in a little home, And then I build the what's it called? Oh god, I should know the name. It's a the herbalist. Okay, so I like these little herbalist buildings because it makes sense to me because the wish I could see without all these trees here. The herbalist is going to honey is a really nice um, for like healing and things. So I usually put the honey person as the herbalist, and there's a couple little buildings that I will gather all of their house. So it looks like they're, into herbs and, natural honey and things like that. How's the query coming? It's not. Let's prioritize that. Well, they really got on the beekeeper, didn't they? They must be closer or something. Which iron do we have? We have quite a bit of iron, but we don't have hardly any wood and no stone. So you guys get some of the stone, please. You guys. The one builder. Yeah, that guy. Alright, so let's take you off of here. And it's June, so we're not going to worry about the parkas for the moment. So you guys get to getting wood and building. Yeah. Let's see, how much iron do we have? We have quite a bit of iron, so you can come off of there. But we only have 3. 3 tools, we're low. Let's see. We don't have any of that pine stuff, so you're gonna have to just make. No, oh, we've got wood from when I fired him before, so that's good. How is the storage? These are filled to the brim over here, but they hold items that aren't food. Well, that has a definite 60s feel, I think, is the, yeah, like 50s or 60s. Alright. The quarry is coming along. Yay, and we've got some laborers. Yeah. That's always a good thing. Alright, come get us some stone. That little quarry pulls out a lot of stone, too. I really like a lot of that DJ Quad stuff. This is probably one of my favorites. Alright, this... Oh yeah, we moved him around. It must have been them, because they were like, U-turn. We did that and then it crashed, so it wasn't saved. would like to get the flax builder up, weaver, whatever, up soon. And then the beehive. That storage unit would be nice to be built too. It's taking quite a bit of wood, isn't it? Alright. Quite a few tools, and yet we still only have 5, so they've been using them. Oh, maybe he hadn't put them in storage yet. He, she, that person. You know, I had been playing Tropico for a long time before I realized that some of the roles were like gender specific. And I hadn't really paid attention to it. And then there was a mod, this was like version 4 or whatever, that took away that. So anybody could be anything, which was kind of nice. But I kind of like that they aren't gender specific in this game. Oh, and if you hadn't noticed or not, I applied a mod so that my people are all brown. I think they've got a new one out where they're a mix. But it's interesting because when I get nomads, I definitely know because they're all light skinned, they're pale, and I'm like, who are you people? Oh yeah, you're nomad. Because I'm so used to looking at all these brown people. It's so weird. Alright. Tools are coming along. We need some wood though. Try not to use these laborers for a while and let them get some of this wood. There's also a... I don't use these... I use these foresters not necessarily to gather wood, but to prune. And at some point I don't even let them cut down these pine trees because it allows the production of this stuff. You know, as soon as you cut the trees down, you have a loss of gathering resources. So I usually put a forester somewhere else to do that. It just chops down trees. Let's see. He has one. Is it in the... Yeah, it's this guy. It says Tiny Gardener, which is kind of weird, but this guy will chop down trees. So we're gonna put him down. It's only 2 wood too, so it's really cheap. And then I normally, let's make sure we don't go grab those crashy ones. Just do a storage yard that's only wood near him, so he can be lazy and just plop it down there. I use he instead of gender specific. Sorry. Just do that. God, I hear that one a lot. I must hear it in somebody's station, so we're gonna fast forward that one. Alright. Oh yeah, and I'd put down a... That was before the crash too, apparently. Root cellar. This thing's hold a lot too. Because this is gonna get full deer meat for things like... we have quite a bit of beef too. We're gonna have to get that butcher going pretty soon, because it'll cut it up into multiple pieces. It just helps with their food variety, which keeps them healthy. Because if we just, well, actually, we may not need our herbalist for a while. Sometimes one of the reasons why I really like the maritime thing, her gatherer, or his gatherer, grabs like 3 other things that you normally don't see, which is this mushroom, cranberry, fiddlehead, and then these other 4 are they're default vanilla. But that just those 3 added items alone helps diversify the food, and which really helps their hearts. All right, so we've got this up. So let's put someone on there just a little bit to make some clothes. And for role-playing purposes, I usually sell the linen clothing and keep the parkas and the furs for them because it keeps them warm. And then when we get to really fancy clothing, then I choose one to trade and then choose one to keep. I don't know. The role-playing makes it more fun, I think. Yeah. Surely. Now it's raining. I actually have a mod on that modifies the rain, but I think the north does it too. But the default vanilla, the rain, you can't see, and it's really loud. It's like a tropical storm all the time, and it rains so much that that mod is really needed. It makes the game kind of annoying without it. Alright, what speed are we at? We're at 5. I still feel like it's kind of slow. Maybe because I'm being forced to talk. Normally I just watch it in silence, I guess. You know what? I should build a road over here, actually, because that way our quarry person... Eventually I'll put some housing over here too. Let's put that mine up there. I think it's nice. Instead of, I'll show you some, you've probably already seen Banished, but I'll show you some of the other mining options that are like that's the quarry. Which makes sense, right? It does work. But it's so huge. Look at that. There's really nice detail on this is the north one. It's a lot of detail on that crane and everything. But see the real estate difference? And then the mine's the same way. So if you're going for ultra realism, you're probably going to use, these. That one's not too bad because it goes straight into the... Huh, I ought to try his mine and see if I like it. Because it looks like the, yeah, I like the... Oh yeah, that's cute. I actually like that. But I think the advantages to using these tiny ones, that's the reason why I say it's kind of cheating. Because once it's depleted, I can just delete that and there's no scar on the land. But most of the time they build into it. Let's see. Mine cannot be removed once placed. See? So once the mine is depleted, then it just becomes a dilapidated building. I don't really like that. Sorry. Alright, so I really like his production chain for bricks and the buildings. Look at him real quick. Oh, it's very nice. I like the wood plus brick look of things. His clay pit and sand pit are really nice. I really like the sand one. It's actually one of the reasons why I'm even using this mod. I think that's cute too. That's the glass factory. And it has a little add-on to store the glass in. It's nice. He has a trapper cabin. I like the way it looks. But it was not nearly as efficient as this trapper. I think it got like 1 or 2 furs a season and that was it. And this guy will, well, we haven't had him in there a while, but oh yeah, fur, game, eggs, pelt. I mean, it was like, it just didn't make sense to have that one up. His blacksmith is pretty decent looking too. The early game one. I like DS's blacksmith, the way it looks. He has let's see. Nope, that's not it. That, I like that. I think that looks so cool looking. I like how portions of it are, you know, on the outside here. So I'll probably use that blacksmith one. I like that one too. And they do different things. I get this one up quickly just because you can make these tools, these pine tools, and these twine handled tools, which are really nice. So I get this matchy production up over here, and then later on I build a full-on blacksmith that has different tools. Now this one has a, oh, we should build one of these. Okay, so this is the progression. There's this little small workshop. Isn't that cute? It looks like the little, and there you go, that cute thing. And then there's this, which would be the next size. And then the village one. And then the crest one that I'm showing you. Okay, so we're gonna build, can it do the, I really like the way this one looks. Even though I would probably like to build that. Let's build them both. We'll do this one first. And then we'll build the other one later. Alright, shall we... I like building these outside of homes, but we'll just build it over here. Alright. And it's cheap, it's just 2 wood and 1 stone. Which is probably setting right there. We'll get to it. Do we have a... Yeah, let's get the honey going. And the, it gives you free apples. So it's our first kind of real fruit source. Oh, I didn't line that up. That's gonna drive me nuts. Just don't look at it. Just don't look at it. Okay, so... we out of flax already? Yeah, how much linen? Only 10? Oh, I guess it is pretty... Yeah, okay, so... that's done. And now we've got like 15 of clothing. Alright, come over here and make some parkas, because it's winter time. And we've got a total of how many reindeer hide? None? No, surely not. Oh, but we do have pelts and fur. Oh, it's deer hide, not reindeer hide. Even though I think they're called reindeer in the game. Technicalities, don't worry about it. Okay, deer hide. We've got 16, so they can make 16 parkers. And we've got quite a few tools. Alright, so we've got 3 times the tools we do people. This is probably the only season that we're going to not have somebody making tools. And pretty soon that's all, I mean, that blacksmith will be working all the time. But for now I want them to help with, I'd like to get all this cleared out. And I'm doing all because I want them to gather all the food, and I want it all cleared out because we're going to start building here pretty soon. So we've got 1 laborer, but I'm going to take the stone person off here. Well, no. We've got bees. Well, the Parker person will come off in a minute. Yeah. Because they can only build 10 of those anyway. I really wish the tailor, I don't like, not a fan of that green, but I'm not a fan of this either. Is that the furs? I'm not a fan of that either, really. I think this is preferable. So we're gonna build that over here somewhere. Just kind of hide. Oh, you know what? I think. Yeah, see, this one matches, right? But they don't make the fur stuff. They just make vanilla clothing. This one makes vanilla and maritime. I wish he would change that because I would like it to. Ideally, oh, I forgot I had that kiln over there. Our well's gonna go there eventually, so I don't want anybody there. And I don't want a greenhouse next to all these red houses I'm about to build. Maybe we'll use the wood one. It's these weird things that I get kind of caught up in. I don't know. Maybe we'll throw you out here. You have to walk a little bit farther for your stuff, but you know, it matches the log cabin look better. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Especially since we've got furs and pelts. We're gonna have a lot of them once we get a trapper up here working full time. And what I typically do for the like rural areas, I do like a dirt road. And I think these, oh, it may be the other guy's roads. These roads, even though they're gravel, they still let them work. Yeah, so they're fast. Let's see. So let's do the dirt one. Some of them are really ugly on this green, though. Let's do a grass road. This is one of the few games that roads really makes a huge difference on how quickly they can get crap done. I guess in Banished it makes a big difference too. Alright, so then they'll have some roads that aren't like... Yeah, see, that looks pretty good. It looks like it's part of the landscape versus this is going to be very manicured looking. We get done. And then the cities they usually build nomads. Well, we've got food enough for them, but we don't have any place for you to live. Do you want to be homeless? If you're alright with being homeless. Oh, there's just 2 of you. Oh, you guys squeezed them in, huh? They're not even homeless. That's amazing. Okay. Alright, so let's start building these homes, actually. We're in year 7. They're going to start getting really cranky about being boarded up. We've got plenty of stone for it. I'm gonna take you off of here. You can start building some houses. Get some resources gathered and some homes built. So we're gonna build the house that goes with this guy. I usually build them a little off of the road. Unless they're a city. What am I doing? In the wrong area. And then we're gonna put our herbalist over here. And there's two herbalists I like. Let's see, there's that one. Maybe it's somewhere else. Oh, we'll put down a really, like, there's no getting around it, this is cheating building in a second here, too. It's the herbalist. Oh, this is the North's herbalist version. Oh, this is an herb shed, that's kind of cool. It may not be installed, it may have been a mod that I don't have. Oh, yeah, the workshop. Got sidetracked. You guys didn't build that cheap building? Oh my god, come over here and build this. Okay, so this has a really neat thing, which is what I was going to show you, which made me think of that. Once they get that build, I'll show you. Let's see if he has the herbals that I'm thinking of. Those are harvesters. There's the clicky clicky, there's so much stuff. Oh, I'm not sure I like that song. It's kind of... I'd have to turn that one off. Gets a little repetitive. Well... Crap, I don't know. There was another herbalist in it, and essentially... Oh, what is that? Oh, the grammar school. That one looks like there's herbs drying, and then there's another one that looks like a little flower pot thing that I thought was cute. I'm very conscious of that now. Let's see. I knew that wasn't it, but I was just gonna look at it. It was there. Let's see. Huh. It must not be installed. Sorry. I was gonna show you it too, but there's the one we already put down. It would either have to be his or the kids, and I don't think... Oh well. Alright, so this workshop, you can build a couple things, the normal things like tools and hides, hide coats from leather or whatever. But they have this really neat thing called gathering baskets. And they have a fishing gear and hunting gear. Have I gotten... Yeah, I've gotten these two to work, but they're alright. I'm not pressed to make them. But we're going to make some gathering baskets, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do with them. Really cool. And while they're doing that, I'm going to still look for this stupid herbalist, because it's bugging me. Okay, no, it's not that, and then... Maybe all the music's bothering me because I'm trying to find something. Because I'm just like, that noise, what is that noise? Yeah, it's music. I really like the Hispanic looking. I did a whole map that was just all this, you know, all the houses were the sandstone. There's a couple varieties here. I don't like the brick one as well. And then he has some that are really colorful too. And I just really, it's a great starting mod too because it gives you a church and um, a mission and a school. And these really generic looking homes, but you can lay it out so it looks like, you know, a mission would. Nice role playing mod. I've done quite a few maps, but one map in particular, it was just like the whole map was that. Yeah, don't know where that Orbalist is. Whatever. Okay, so if you forget, I have done this, so beware. Um, I will put this guy on here to make gathering baskets and forget about him. And if we've got plenty of logs, you don't notice it. And then you'll come back like 10 years later and he's made like 8 trillion of these gathering baskets, which you don't need. I had to start selling them to the trader because I was like, we don't need this many baskets. But, alright, so you can take the baskets and what you do, you have to go over to this menu. Okay, there's a gathering one, but we've got several gatherers. We don't need that. There's an herb one, which I don't like as well as the herb thing that I'm going to throw up here that I'll show you. But the acorn one, you can't get acorns other than this basket, and it's the coolest stuff. So it's technically, I think, supposed to be around trees, but I've literally just set it out like here, and it does the same thing. But I mean, for role-playing purposes, we will throw it over here near where we know there's going to be trees. But the person will come and use the basket has a capacity. I don't know how many. 35 to 55, 34 to 55 acorns. So once it's gathered that many, it will need another basket, and they will come and get a basket. So the baskets will last quite a while, but it really gives you another protein source, so it's really nice. I like it. And it's one of those where you can be like, oh, I need an extra person. We'll take the acorn person off, you know. It's real nice. Alright. What was the next thing? Oh, the herb garden. So I like this herb garden that the kid did. Let's see, it's in his food thing for some odd reason. It's this. And it looks so cool. I put it next to the, you know, this housing complex where the person's like all about health and everything. So I will make like this the one in the backyard or the side yard? Probably the side yard is where I've got room. So you've got your, I'll usually put that other little Orbalist that looks like a basket, or what I was talking about earlier. I usually put it down, this one, and that, and the honey, and that kind of covers that area. Okay, so this is the cheat that I was talking about. He has a couple of these. There's one for, well, you can make these little, we'll make one of those and a freebie. I'll show you. So we're going to do let's do a 4x3. Does a 4x3 have a greenhouse? Okay. So, we'll do it over here. So, you put this down. It has like a shed and then a little area where they use the greenhouse. And you want to make sure that you put the door on the opposite of the little box thing because they can't get in and out. Then you put this faux, it's like a fake, it's ghosted greenhouse on top of it. And I really like the greenhouses. There's a couple different modders that have been using them. But so this will make a variety of different foods in early game. That is like huge. Like I said, you know, the diversity of food makes a big difference on their health. Notice how we haven't dropped a heart at all. And that's mainly because we have, you know, so much food variety. Well, so there's that, and then he has some that are just blatant cheats. Really, I hope he's not watching this going, "I'm not cheating," but it feels kind of like you're cheating when you use them because they're free food. Let me find one of them. There's one with this mod, the taco mod. So there's a greenhouse for cultivating tomatoes. That's a bigger one, but we don't have a lot of vegetables, so we'll use that one. Okay, so we're going to put it over here because we're going to put it with another house. Need to flatten that area. Let me flatten that real quick. Oh, that's why I moved those carts before, because they're on some funky hill. Whoa, that didn't do anything. What's going on? That didn't even flatten anything. Oh, well, let's use the power tool. And we're gonna lose some honey there, but oh well. Alright, now that it's flat. Okay. We'll put a house down. And then the freebie. Team mod. Okay, so it just takes one person once this is up, and they just like scratch on the ground, you know how they do. And then you just got tomatoes, like free tomatoes. I didn't have to buy seeds for it. I didn't have to plant something and only get it seasonally. It's just all year round we will have tomatoes. So that's kind of, in Banished, that's kind of a cheat, I think. A little bit. So I tried to, here's our acorn guy. Okay, what I typically do, because this basket is so tiny and you can't find it once the little question mark is gone. I usually put it over here and just monitor, you know. And then if I need to take them off of it, I can easily access it. Alright, how are we doing on fuel? None. So we need somebody to do that again. We've got plenty of wood, plenty of stone. We're good on tools and clothing, but we need some fuel. It's June and we're going to have winter rolling around. We don't have a house up yet. We've got... Oh, I see. We're missing iron. Oopsie. That was me. That was all my bad. Okay. Alright, we're going to take you off the gathering baskets. I'm sure we have plenty by now. I only have 5? Really? You're slacking. Let's see. Parka. How many of those do we have? Oh, 31. We're good on the parkas. So you can stop doing that for a little bit, hun. Alright. And then... let's put 2 of you on that. So we can pump out some iron and get these houses up. Because we're in, like, year 8. And we still haven't, you know... we're still in the boarding house. Plus 2 nomads. That's a little bit ridiculous on my part. My bad. And all we're missing is the iron on these homes. They're probably like, why are you still yapping and not building our homes? We need to do a house, or a school soon. And there's a school that matches those Nordic houses. It looks like one of them, actually. Where is it? Oh, this is the North School. We need glass and stuff for it, so we'll build it later, but it's really cute. Look at that. Um, yeah, the Nordic School looks just like one of those houses. So we'll build that here in a little bit. Might as well put it down and then pause it. Because it takes quite a bit of stone. Alright, the first house is going up. I guess I lied. It's not the cattle people that are getting the first house. It's these guys. Okay, I guess that works. How many gathering do we have? 17. Okay, that should do them for a little bit. I don't like it when I don't have any laborers. So try to keep one. Especially after the school. Here's a tip for you. If you play Banished, you probably already know this, but I'm gonna get a cough drop. Excuse me. If you say you have no laborers and the only person that's running around is your 1 or 2 builders, your teacher dies. Everybody that's in this school will come out of the school, and you will have to feed, clothe, and give them a tool immediately. There's that burden. But then they can't go back to school. So you have a whole like generation there that's gone in terms of education. So that really sucks. You know, normally it's at the most probably 30 students, but it's 30 students that there's no mechanic built in that, you know, we have a teacher now, come on back. It doesn't work. They just go right into the workforce. So, and I've had that happen to me more times than I can count. Okay, once we start spreading out a little bit, then we're going to need to build a centralized market, because these guys are lazy and they will not walk too far to get food. It's okay at the early stages, especially like when they're all in the boarding houses, because they'll just go right here, right? And it's pretty diverse, but it won't be long, and the only thing that's going to be in there is probably these mushrooms and venison, so yeah. Alright. Once we start getting really low on fuel, I'll have somebody get coal, unfortunately. And pollute the environment with and our lungs by heating our homes with it. Yay for progress. Hopefully they'll build this fairly soon so you can see that in work. Look at that. That's huge. These acorns. It's primarily because they just stand by the basket. They don't actually walk around or anything. Unlike the hunter and the gatherers, they actually are moving all over the place. Oh, I forgot we even built this. Okay. We more than likely have more pelts than... We're going to wait on that because we're okay in clothing, and we can't sustain it yet until we have a trapper that can give them. And I'm sure we've still got quite a bit of it already, but yeah, see, we've got 56 pelts and 136 fur. Oh my goodness. The fur coats trade really well. I think they're probably the most expensive clothing item you can trade. I think so. So, you know, mid-game I usually have like a couple tailors pumping those out to trade with. I usually try, well, my best games are centered. Let me move this fisherman. He gets kind of, he gets overfished. My best games are the ones where I pick something to trade and then just do that. You know, like tequila. Like we're just trading tequila, right? And a couple other things, but the main source of what we're producing is what we're trading with. And I kind of like doing with this pine tree maple thing that we're going to have set up. I kind of like doing cider and fur coats being the two big things that I trade mid-tier. Since we're not doing colonial, we don't have some of the what I would consider quote unquote later game things, but because we don't have those production lines. But in this map, we're just gonna tinker around until I get bored with it essentially and record it. So there you have it. That's the game plan. We're gonna tinker around here. Well, do we even have a builder? Where are you? I have to like prioritize anything to get it done, that seems. 100 apples is pretty good. And we're storing beeswax for later. We'll make candles. Because it's not really cheating, but I kind of cheat, and don't use the mines that require upgrades with the candles. I don't have a whole lot of use for the candles, but sometimes I just like watching them inside the buildings if the buildings are done nicely, like this one. I don't know, it just looks cool. And I like it when the homes, oh wow, look at all that deer. I like it when the homes they actually go inside, not stand outside and eat, but what can you do? I did one map that was really cool. I did a starting area was a mission, so it had that that Mexican adobe look, and then my role playing was that they were bordering 3 different countrymen. So to the north of them was a really small Japanese area, and I built these Japanese homes, and then built these really cool looking backyard looking um, like border like walkways. You know, kind of. I'm sure they have a technical term for those. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about too. But little like pathways and parks and stuff. And it was built all around this shrine. They were, I don't know, like a monastery or something. But they had a bunch of silk gardens, or silk, like, oh, those things that create silk. What are they called? I may not even have them in this game now because of the mod being turned off. I'd have to look. But, so they did silk production and they traded it. So the way that I'll have to load that map up and show it. I was impressed with the way that I had laid it out. But so to the northeast of them were these Norse kind of Viking people, and they were woodsmen and sheep herders. And I had this mod that I don't have it installed on this one, but it allowed you to put farming things on mountains, and so they lived in a very rural mountain area and sold sheep wool. And then to the west of them, maybe west, yeah, was this kind of aggressive, like, religious community, kind of like a Catholic, converting kind of. Yeah, I know, I'm crazy. Community that had like all these churches, these huge, like, because there's a church, I don't know if I have it installed, but that he does. I don't think it's on here because I don't have that mod installed. But it's like this huge, like, Sistine Chapel thing. And so they were built around that. And they had moved closer to our little community. So we had put up an army and walls and everything separating us. But in the middle, we all kind of met in this huge. Oh, I missed Nomads talking. Dang it. Um, we had built this huge. Oh, they might still be here. No, they're not. Market in the center. So there was, the market was bigger than what we have now. It was probably like from here to like that. I mean, it was huge market of just market stalls and a variety, different kinds of market stalls. Uh-oh, we're low on tools. No. I'm running my mouth and not paying attention to the actual game. Not good. So it was really interesting how I, structured the buildings and kind of kept them kind of culturally, themed, um, because the Norse people used these type of buildings and some of these cabin-like buildings up in the mountains. And like I said, the Japanese people had their Japanese buildings and the Mexican-looking ones or whatever. And then the ones with the converting Catholics, they had like a city, so it was built kind of like a they were using buildings like this for some things, but then they were using in the city squares they were using these buildings. So yeah. So it was interesting role play. I had a lot of fun with it. So you can have, different people do different things in this game. Oh, look. Okay, so we've got this. So this is why I say it's kind of like a cheat, right? So I don't have seeds for any of this. In fact, if we go to our seeds, we have... I think we actually have barley, apple, pears, plums, rye. I'm going to start a farm production pretty soon, but I'm not doing that yet because they're so seasonal. But I could do barley all year round with this, and so we would have I'm gonna actually do that with we would have flour sooner than we normally would, right? Because a lot of times your seeds are like cabbage and plums or something. You don't have a grain source or anything. So so yeah, you get these free, and so it's kind of a cheat. And what you can do, what I have done in the past, say you don't even have to build like a ton of them. You could if you wanted to, but you could build like just 2 or 3 of these, or maybe just one, and rotate your crops. So have them build for a couple seasons cucumbers, and then since you have such a small population, rotate it out with another one, and then by the time they get one, eaten up, you already have another one built or whatever. We're still low on tools. We have the iron, so... Oh, we have 2 guys on here, don't we? Alright, you guys. Hello. Don't you dare crash. Oh, it's saving. Let's put another guy on here. And then... this guy will do iron tools, too. So we'll just get caught up. So 3 blacksmith, hopefully we'll... How many of them are sitting in here still? Looks like 3 families, maybe? Oh, and he has this, the kid It's this adorable little boat houses. I usually build them too. I like them better when we have lakes, so I can build like a docking area, but on this particular map we don't have any lakes at all. We've just got little creeks and like one main river for the tradesmen. I used to like just rush to get to trade, but I don't really have to with, well, especially with this kind of stuff, but just having the maritime stuff installed really alleviates a lot of that because we have a diverse food that I don't have to get seeds really quickly. In vanilla, it gets really old eating the same 2 crops for, 18 seasons or whatever. You really need to get your, I would say get your herbalist up when you get your gatherer and your hunter up, actually, at that point. If you only have like a really small source of food. But I think we'll put just a barley on this guy. And then do our miller here. We might as well put it down. And just pause it, because we don't need him to make it until we... Wait, that's the baker. It's a windmill, so it... Or it's a... It's water. Maybe right there. And then I think he's the guy that has the well I like. Yeah. I like that well. I think it's designed well. The well is designed... Oh no! It's not designed well. It's crashed us. Ah! See, that's one of the reasons why I don't play this game as much as I probably would, because I just never know when a mod is going to crash another mod. So, maybe we come back to this and finish in another episode, because we've already gone into, well over an hour. We'll have to probably slice this into 2 episodes. So, what I'll probably do is try to fix some mod conflicts if possible before we start the next episode. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and leave a comment and let me know. Bye.